up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and I want to keep this video as short, simple, and sweet as possible. Right off the bat, let me be very clear here. I am not here to necessarily defend Russell Brand. I won't even go so far as to say that I do not believe the allegations that are made against him. As I've said before, I will say again, I don't put anything past anyone, especially someone with ties to Hollywood and the entertainment industry. However, regardless if you believe the allegations or not, I feel like this is a very fascinating situation that we should all pay attention to. Because what's happening here is, in the process of trying to expose Russell Brand, Hollywood and the mainstream media are exposing themselves. Let me say that one more time. In the process of trying to expose Russell Brand, Hollywood and the mainstream media are exposing themselves, which is why I think all of us should pay close attention. Because you see, from everything that I've been reading, and I've read over a dozen articles about these allegations so far, and to be clear, I cannot dive into the allegations. YouTube does not allow us to talk about stuff like this, which is weird because it's supposed to be believe all women, believe all victims, yet we can't discuss this stuff on YouTube. I wonder why. That's kind of weird, right? But anyway, YouTube won't allow me to fully cover these allegations because of the words that are used. There's so many buzzwords that you can't use on YouTube, and YouTube just does not like you talking about things like this. But anyway, after going over all of these articles, I found a reoccurring theme. That reoccurring theme being that all of this stuff was no secret. From what multiple sources are saying, from what all of these articles are saying, everyone in Hollywood knew about this stuff. That Russell Brand had a bad name. And that everyone already knew the type of stuff that Russell Brand was doing. In fact, right here it says, Brand's attitude towards women became an open secret in radio and TV production, according to sources. So this is a reoccurring theme that I'm seeing. That, Russell Brand, yeah, we all knew about that. This has been going on for years. We all knew about Russell Brand for years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Put on your thinking cap and really think about it. This tells you that if it's true that Russell Brand was this type of person doing all of this stuff, that they thought it was okay. In fact, they worked overtime to make sure that it didn't come out. All of this stuff was okay. Doing and treating women horribly, coming onto women, forcing yourselves onto women, that was okay. Having relationships with 16-year-olds, all of that was okay in Hollywood's eyes until Russell Brand went against the mainstream narrative. And this is how Hollywood and the mainstream media are exposing themselves. Hollywood is letting it be known. Okay? By exposing Russell Brand now, Hollywood is letting it be known that, hey, you can get away with whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You want to date underage people? Fine. You want to R-word people? Fine. That's okay. We'll cover all of this stuff up. We'll make sure none of this gets out as long as you all go along with the narrative. As long as you all push our agendas. Okay? I don't think people, have enough critical thinking skills to actually see this. And when I say people, I don't mean everyone, but even Hollywood. I don't even think Hollywood realizes how much it's exposing itself right now. It's basically, hey, you can get away with anything. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you don't go against the agenda. Russell Brand, he rebranded himself, no pun intended, and he went against the agenda, which is why now all of these allegations, all of these accusations are coming out, even though supposedly this was an open secret in radio and in TV and in Hollywood for years. So while everyone is focused on Russell Brand, everyone's labeling him a horrible, evil person, I think it's flying over everyone's head that Hollywood openly allowed this and even acknowledged that it allowed this until a certain point. That point being when Russell Brand stepped out of line and started calling out certain politicians. He had controversial opinions about the lockdowns and everything that has been going on for the last few years. So a lot of people's main takeaway is that Russell Brand is a horrible person, and I'm not here to tell you that he is or isn't. My main takeaway is that Hollywood is absolutely horrible, and they're exposing themselves. We see how things really are, which is not a surprise to me. It won't be a surprise to most of the people watching this video, but for a lot of people, this can and will be an eye-opener. That's why we should focus on things like this. That's why I find this story important, because not too often are the curtains pulled back where everything's just fully exposed. And that's what's happening here. Now we know for a fact that you have an open pass in Hollywood to treat people however you want to treat them. You can do whatever you want. You can break the law. You can force yourselves onto people. You could be the most disgusting human being in the world, and none of it will get out. All of these people will actively protect you until you step out of line. Even some of your accusers. These accusers didn't come forward in the past when Russell Brand was part of the agenda, when he was part of Hollywood, but when Russell Brand rallies against Hollywood and he goes against the agenda, now all of a sudden I have a problem with how you treated me. I didn't have a problem with how you treated me when you were a part of the Hollywood cult. Yeah, you could throw me up against the wall, do whatever you want to me when you're a part of the Hollywood cult. But now that you stepped out of the cult and you're going against the cult, now I have a problem with everything that we ever did. All of the sex that we ever had is now all of a sudden a problem. And when going over these accusations, some are worse than others, but it's clear that a lot of these women put themselves in positions to have sex with Russell Brand, and then they get insulted or something happens along the way that they don't like. And like I said, I'm not here to defend them, but these women were perfectly okay with this until Russell Brand rebranded himself and came out as someone who I guess some people may view as a conservative talking person, or I don't think he's conservative at all, far from it. But, when you're going against the main talking points, you become public enemy number one, which is what's happening to Russell Brand. All of this stuff that he was doing was supposedly already out there. Everyone knew about this for years. In fact, this investigation that was going on into Russell Brand's doings has been going on for years. This is not something that happened overnight. And the mainstream media is exposing themselves because if they really cared about victims, if they really cared about these people's stories, surely they would have put these people's stories out when these people sat down and had conversations with them. But no, they've been collecting stories for literally years so they can all put together a documentary so they can get viewers and clout. You know what I'm saying? They incentivized this situation. They saw these allegations and they didn't see victims, they saw dollar signs. That's why you didn't hear any rumblings about all of these accusations for years, even though they were supposedly out there. But now you're going to hear about them in a documentary that has been, advertised all over the internet for the past 48 hours. So the mainstream media is exposing themselves. They don't care about victims. They care about ratings. Their ratings are failing, which is one of the reasons why they hate people like Russell Brand. They hate people like me because the reality is we're sitting here on YouTube bringing in more viewers than them, which is one of the reasons why they want to get Russell Brand out of the way. But the Hollywood, like I said already 1,000 times in this video, but I really want to hammer this point home, they allow this stuff. We see it all the time. You can get away with whatever you want as long as you're pumping that agenda. As long as you're pushing their agenda, you can go to private islands and sleep with underage people. You can do whatever you want as long as you're pushing their agenda. The moment you step outside of line, The moment you step out of line, they're going to bring all types of stuff at you. Maybe you thought your behavior was okay because for 20, 30 years, you got away with it in Hollywood and no one ever said anything. In fact, people catered to you. People defended you. People kept these secrets from getting out. But as soon as you go against the mainstream narrative, you call out the president or you call out Fauci or you call out random people, all of a sudden, we're going to bring all of this stuff that we knew you were doing for years and we're going to throw it in your face. But in my opinion, you can say that makes Russell Brand look bad, and I'm not saying that it looks good, but it makes Hollywood look even worse than Russell Brand. Because you're telling me, you mean to tell me that y'all kept this a known secret for years? That you sat on this information and didn't act on it? Didn't try to help these young women? Nothing? You were totally okay with this until Russell Brand turned against Hollywood? That's why I say when it comes to this situation, I'm not necessarily here to defend Russell Brand, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this is genuine, you know? Like this is a genuine situation that's going down. This is very obviously a organized, coordinated hit piece on Russell Brand. They're either using fake information or real information they already knew, but the timing of it is very odd. And the fact that they waited all of these years, they even acknowledge we knew all of this stuff for years, but we're just now deciding to say something. We're just now going to say something. That's not natural. These things aren't naturally happening. This is an artificial hit piece movement against Russell Brand because he had the audacity to step out of line and he started questioning things that they did not want him to question. He stopped pushing the Hollywood agenda. Therefore, he was no longer able to get that Hollywood protection. So if these allegations are true or if they're false, it doesn't matter. We know that they're all being thrown at him for the same reason. Fake allegations, real allegations. The fact is they didn't care about these allegations. No one gave a damn about any of this until Russell Brand started questioning things and started stepping out of line. Now, all of a sudden, they act like they care, and they're going to throw this stuff at him. They're going to fling whatever mud they can at him. They've already been trying to cancel this guy for the last couple of years, and this is their latest attempt. It just so happens they may have some real-life accusations that they just now decided to take seriously because they know they can weaponize these allegations against Russell Brand. So at the end of the day, they can try to expose Russell Brand as much as they want. They're still exposing themselves in the process. And I understand that the sheeple that surround all of us, they're not going to be able to see it. But people like me and people like the majority of you all, we can see through this nonsense. And the further they expose themselves, the further Hollywood will continue to crumble. And make no mistake about it, Hollywood is on life support right now, which is why you don't see any big movies coming out. They're not advertising the next big movie. They're advertising the next big cancelization hit piece of Russell Brand because that's all they have left in their tank. There's no creativity there. They've been exposed. We've seen through the nonsense, and now they're resorting to things like this. But like I said, this is only putting another nail in the coffin of Hollywood. But because it doesn't matter. The accusations don't matter. What matters is the intent behind releasing these allegations. And obviously their intent is to smear and to cancel Russell Brand because they're not happy with the things that he's been saying lately. Let me know your thoughts though down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.